Yes, it's me. And you guys are angry about it. Oh my God, I make y'all feel that. Well, this will not take long. Well, I just wanted to pop up here and show y'all how I'm doing. I'm doing great. I'm looking great. I'm feeling great, you know. I'm over here very booked and busy while you bitches over here are still looking raggedy and not doing shit. Wow. But anyway, I just want to let y'all know I'm not going anywhere. So talk your shit, you shitholes. You can't defeat a bad bitch. You just cannot do that. I rise above that. Ew. So I just want to say, hey, and that I'm here to stay. And you're going to be mad every day. Success.
First of all, happy new year. This is the first video of 2019 and I am so excited to begin this journey with you. I wish you nothing but happiness and health and good fortune and all of Jesus's love just all up in your life all through 2019. I promise there's a reason we're this up close and personal in this video, in this very first video of 2019, even though I am pre-shooting, so technically I'm still in 2018, but I'm feeling the 2019 vibe. So today's video is going to be a things we're leaving in 2018 video, because I've made a lot of mistakes up until this point of my makeup journey and I feel like I've hit a turning point, and I love to tell you guys about that because the mistakes that I've made I see other people making and I feel like I don't want to be trolling someone making such comments, so I leave it alone. But I wish someone had pulled me aside in the beginning of my makeup journey and been like, honey, this is how it's done. This is a video to address the things, especially about our brows, that we are leaving in 2018 because we're becoming better people. This is like my New Year's resolution, is to have on fleek brows, because now I know how to do that. So if you want to see all of that and more, obviously just keep watching. So as you can see, I've literally done nothing to my brows, but I am very blessed with hairy full brows that tend to look very bushy if I don't take care of them. So I am very lucky in that regard, but this technique will actually work even if you have no brows, which is kind of amazing. I have mentioned it before in my full face of Jacque Mgido where she does my makeup video, but I've also been talking about it sporadically in all these other videos that I've pre-shot for this season. So I thought I'd just sit down and finally make a dedicated video talking about this pen, and not really just about the pen, but really the techniques that I've used to improve my brows from what they used to be. If I can insert a horrible beginner image of what my brows, first of all, my brows transitioned from non-existent to caterpillar brows to sometimes a hit, sometimes a miss, especially one or the other. They never looked the same. So now I've actually figured out a way to get a good baseline, because what you'll find is that, especially if you're on YouTube, you'll shoot the video, think you look perfectly fine, take all the pictures for the video, and then a couple of days later when you're editing, you're like, my brows are not even sisters, they're not even twins, they're not even neighbors, they've never met each other, they're not on the same line, they're not going in the same direction, and by then it's way too late to redo everything. So you post it anyway and hope no one judges you. But this is literally going to fix your entire life. If you don't want to spend the money on this, I am going to show you a technique that I discovered with the Davis brow pencil that actually gives me really good brows, because this is a really great option if you don't have the cash to drop on this. But honestly, just save up for it and keep it, because I've had it for a year and I haven't been using it for a year. I've been using it for a month solid, but it hasn't dried out in a year. So even if you buy it and then just practice until you get comfortable, it's not gonna dry up on you and then you'll have to buy another one. So this is so worth the investment. But, and also, I mean, it's at Linton's for 3,000 shillings, which sounds like a lot, but I promise you, save up the coin, it will be worth it. By the end of this video, hopefully you'll see that it is worth it. But this is 30 bob, and there is a way to achieve really good looking brows with this. And it is something that I recently discovered, because the mistake that I was making with the Davis pencil is that I was filling in my entire brow, which is what all the brow tutorials say that you should do, trying to draw hair strokes, but you can't be sharpening it every 2 seconds. So it gets flat, and then I'm just filling it in and creating that darkness. But with brows, black isn't really a good option for brows, and if you fill this in too much, it will look black. So the technique that I found to use with this pencil is that I just outline my brows, so I draw in the shape that I actually want, and then I take a spoolie and comb whatever product is in those lines into my brow. Now this works really well because I do have hairy brows. Now that I've adopted these techniques, I actually really am getting more consistently good brows. So I'm really happy with that. I wanted to bring this to you as a first video of 2019 because we're doing things differently this year. We're actually becoming pros in this game because makeup has become more like a mainstream thing. Because I feel like even these days, if you show up to an interview without makeup, people look at you a certain way. So yeah, this is a good life skill to have. And I'm gonna start with the cheaper option because this is what's more accessible to people. So step one is get it as sharp as you possibly can. My problem with these pencils is that some of them sharpen really well and some of them just keep breaking and breaking and breaking the sharpener, and some of the sharpeners that come with them work really well and some of them just break the pencil. So I try to use my own personal sharpener and like get it to as much of a point as I possibly can. And then step two is to comb the brow hairs up. Now I like to do this so that I can see if there's any excessive hairs that I need to tweeze with my tweezer. And I actually got my tweezer downtown for like 50 bob, so it's not expensive. And it may sound like nothing, but a good tweezer makes the whole difference in whether or not you'll actually grab on all the hairs and be able to pluck them out. So getting a brand new tweezer like every maybe 6 months or so would be like something I advise. So these extra hairs, I'm just picking them up, plucking them. Anything that's not in line with the shape of brow that I want gets to go. Okay, step two is outlining the bottom of the brow just as you want it. And if your hand slips like mine did and gets a bit of product into the actual brow itself, that's perfectly fine because we are going to be combing through it with a spoolie. But you do want to use a very light hand and just like sort of define the bottom of the brow. And I do like to start from the front because I'm going to be combing the product through, so I don't want the front to be too sparse. Now you comb the hairs in the direction that you want them to go, and you outline the top of the brow. But if you're not looking for like a super dark brow, you can even just use this and like comb the product that you already have through the brow. But I'm going to use a very light hand to just barely define the top and then comb the product through, and voila, we'll be done. And I never really worry too much about the tip of the brow because that I can always like define and fix with concealer, because the direction of the brow can change as you look at the brows and like how they're aligned to your eye and whatever. So I don't worry too much about having a very sharp point there. What matters to me is getting the swoop right. So as you can see right now, I really like the way this brow looks, but it is a bit too defined at the bottom. So I'm just going to comb this product through and we'll be done. I do not sniff it to roll it. No. It do not drip when I pour it. No. I do not run, I reload it. No. I do not save it, I throw it. And voila! We're done with the brow. We're not completely done with the brow because I always go in with concealer to curve out my brows, as I said. But I really do like the general shape of this. And you can see that it looks like you drew in hair strokes because the hair itself is actually defined, as opposed to like coloring and coloring and coloring into the brow. And then your hair just looks like a muddy black caterpillar mess on your face, you know. So I really like the way this looks so far, and I feel like people go too dark with their brows by like overly defining it. So this has allowed me to create that really good balance, because dark brows go with like a dramatic eye, but like for something as natural as what I'm wearing today, dark brows would be a bit too much. So I feel like this looks really natural, but once I curve it out, it will be more snatched. So let me do that. And I do just use a skin toned concealer mixed with a tiny little bit of LA Girl in Fawn. If you feel like even after combing through there are still a few sparse areas inside the actual brow, you can just take the pencil and draw a few very, very light strokes, because it's very easy to go from like the perfect color brow for your skin tone to like something overly dark if you draw in too many strokes. So I just draw a couple of very, very light ones and then comb through the spoolie to really spread out the product. And voila, the perfect, super simple brow. Compared to this one, you can see this one definitely has a lot more definition, and you can see that I have aimed to have it start right here to like sort of follow those makeup rules that you keep hearing about, because that is giving you a basic guideline for your eyebrows. And I haven't used anything too expensive. The problem with this method is that if you don't already have hairs, then you have to work harder to like draw those little hairs in and comb them out just right to like get your brow natural looking versus like block looking basically, which is why I will never stop recommending the Jacque Mgido pen, because with this tip, like look at how precise that is. You can actually draw hairs and not have to worry about like sharpening the pencil every 2 strokes or something because it's getting too thick or anything like that. So even if maybe you're sparse at the very front and you just want to draw those hairline strokes to like really give you that kind of definition, then you definitely can. This is really easy for like defining that tip. If you use a very light hand, it's super easy to use. The first few times I tried, I went like ham. I tried to draw like a line and then blend it in, and that does not work. With this pen, you have to use it right and you will absolutely love it. The reason I've been using this a lot is because it is transfer proof. So even if I touch my brows and like wipe them off, as I showed you in that video, I'll insert a clip here, but even if you rub your fingers across your brow, they remain perfectly intact. I'm just going to recreate this brow on this side and then we'll do the wipe test and we'll see which one survives. Okay, so as you've seen, I have just gone with like hair-like strokes through my brow, and I am using the same technique in that I'm still combing the product through my brow with a spoolie just to really spread it out. But you can see that I'm not just drawing straight lines across the brow. Even if I'm going in the same place, I do have to do hairline stroke just so the product deposited is very like subtle and light versus being excessive and heavy and making me look like I have a crazy block brow. And you can see how easy it is to get definition with this. It is smudgeable, like you can't wipe it off if you go overboard and make a mistake, but because I do my foundation and my base before I do my brows, I prefer, instead of smudging it, I can just clean it up with concealer. It disappears wonderfully. It doesn't like get wet and spread around everywhere. But you can see from what I've done so far, this already looks like a neater brow than this one, because I feel like at the bottom of this brow you can just see a lot of product as opposed to like hair strokes, whereas this one makes it looks like there's actual hair growing out of your face. So if you're not blessed with like thick fluffy brows, this is definitely the better option for you, because when you create those hairline strokes, it actually tricks the eye into thinking it's different pieces of hair as opposed to like just darkness, like a shadow created by like the product here. You know what I mean? So again, I like to bring my brow product all the way to the front and then immediately use a spoolie to comb through it. The product doesn't dry too quickly, so you do have time to work with it, but I don't want to risk like a straight line drying. So I do like to comb through the brow as I'm working through the steps, and you can see that this is already like a basically flawless brow. Now my only concern is getting the shape to be the same, because like I said, sometimes my brows are not even neighbors, so I do have to be very intentional about it. So I do like to look at the bottom of the brow and the top of the brow and make sure they're actually going in the same direction, because I've had brows like one is going like this and one is going straight, or one is like up and down. Like, it's crazy how brows can make such a huge fool of you. So even if your hand slips and you put down too much product, it's very, very easy to fix. Just comb through with a spoolie and everything is diffused beautifully. So if you feel like one brow is fatter than the other, or you just want to make them like skinnier or anything like that, this is a really easy way to do it. And the good thing is, even after you've gone in with concealer, you can still use a pen or a pencil and like go over that and like really perfect them. So it's all about refining the brows. But I really do like the effect that the Jacque Mgido pen has been giving me lately. So that's why I made this video, to show you how easy the product is to use. Okay, so this is my final brow and I'm pretty happy with both sides. I feel like I've gotten them as similar as they're going to get. Again, brows are sisters, not twins, so they don't look exactly the same. But at least I've tried to get them as aligned as I possibly can. Tried to keep the swoop in the same general area. So I'm pretty happy with the way they've turned out. Okay, so I'm back. I'm pretty happy with the way they look. This brow is looking pretty damn nice, if I do say so myself, but I do like how impenetrable this one is, and I do like the shape as well. So what I really wanted to come and do on camera is to actually attempt to wipe them off and see what happens. Okay, so that's just with one swipe, and you've seen that even though the Jacque Mgido brow side has actually been sort of reduced. The brow itself is still there, but you can see from my fingers that there is no product on the Jacque Mgido side, whereas the Dubois pencil side has, like, all the product has come out. And because I used such little product on the side of my brow, it's basically all gone. I do still like that it's maintained its shape, don't get me wrong, but the product that I laid down on this side is actually still there. It's not as neat as it was before, but it actually is in place, whereas this one is like smudging off. You can see a lot of it has gathered on the corner here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how we're taking brows in 2019. We're taking them very seriously. We're taking our time to do them, to know that they will last all day. Like, I read a post the other day where this girl said as soon as she does her brows, it's like bad karma or like bad luck or something. But as soon as she does her brows, they get itchy. So here, if you decide to scratch your brows or something, this one will start smudging off and not be perfect, whereas this one will remain perfectly intact. So all of that is to say that I really do recommend that you pick up the Jacque Mgido brow pen, because I really do love it, and it is a brow tool that I will be using in all my videos for the rest of this year. So anytime anyone asks me what's in my brows, I'm just gonna point them to this video and this pen. So I'm not going to be mentioning it in all my other videos, but in case you have questions, you have this video as a reference point. So yeah, I'm gonna end this here, fix my brows, do another look, because I'm actually really loving the result I've gotten with the Nubian 2 palette. So I kind of want 2019 to be the year of 3 looks 1 video type of videos for my channel. So I'm pretty damn happy with this result that I have so far, and yeah, I'll have more such looks with different palettes coming up, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if there's another way you want me to test this brow situation, because I feel like making that much contact on them has wiped them off. But in this clip, you can see that when you just touch them gently, like this one, the wipes off, like you see, it's gone, and I just touch it gently. Whereas this one, if you touch it gently, it stays perfectly intact. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you in my next video.